myself a promise, I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What's going on? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday. You know what we do? We get after it, 6 p.m. We're going to look at all the line movements, cash flow adjustments. We're going to look at injury reports. We're going to look at trends and angles. We're going to look to fade the public. We're going to do it all. We're going to package it up and put a bow on it. And that's what we do every Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. here on Sports Money. I appreciate everybody coming in here to spend some time with me this next hour. We got plays flying. Love this Yankee spot. Not going to make it official play. You might be saying, what? Because it starts in like 5 minutes. So I want to make sure everybody has a chance to get in on the action that we have here. And what a glorious weekend it was. We had some PFL, a special PFL show on Friday. So shout out and salute to all of you that came to spend time with us. That was a lot of fun. But I, once again, don't remember how it ended. So those are always nice nights. I just remember I was up. A couple of great runs in a row. We rolled it into Saturday. Nice day off. Nice day off. Haven't had a day off on a Saturday in like 3 months. Maybe more. It feels like it's been since the start of the year. Maybe there was 1 week in January. Anyhow, it was glorious. Stayed up drinking all night with my friends. We were yard gaming it up. It was fun. It was a fun night. It was it was a much needed night. And it was a great night for us. We went, premium picks were what, 3-1? 3-1 on Saturday. Sadly, we couldn't get there with the UFL game, so we're 1-1 here this past week in the UFL. Trying to get it right. I thought that Friday spot made a ton of sense. It got there for us, a cash, no problemo. And then yesterday, nice little 3-0 mini sweep for our enhanced members. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time to be members. They mad. They're not happy about what's going on over here. See, what happens is they love to hate on you. You start losing, they get excited. They don't want to see you win. They don't, because you need them. And then when you start winning, they just want to see you lose. Because you know what happens? And I'm surprised. I was really surprised at some of the Twitter behavior out there. But to acknowledge that they don't want to help you get better, because then you don't need them. They want your money. Was really surprising, really shocking. And that's not what we're here about. You know, this is the deal. I told you, tip of the spear is this sports money community. And our nation is going to get loud. There's enough of us to make a voice. After a month here, we're over 35 units in the black for the month of April, from April 1st through April 20th. 35 units, 35 net units between the enhanced premium plays and the pre-gaming show. The tools, all kinds of tools out there, the UFC playbook for free. The NHL prop sheet for free. They mad. They don't like it. They get upset because they want your money. Remarkable. And your boy here, I'll fucking lead the charge. Tip of the spear comes in and says, you know what? Philosophical difference. I want to see our people get better. Because if everybody can figure out this recipe to beating these sports books, then you might come in and cap something differently than I did and find the edge that I missed. And we all win more money. See, when they say it's us against the books, it's really not. It's us against you, because you represent a challenge and a threat to the way that the establishment has been handling business. Selling you a best bet for $40 today. Charging you $100 a month to get some bullshit plays. And we're not doing that here. We want to give you guys access to tools, technology, and use that experience that we've all learned over time to make informed betting decisions. That's how we win long term. not short term. This ain't a short game. There's no shortcuts. We're not taking days off because some bullshit happened. We're here every single day grinding. And those of you guys that appreciate that by way of tipping us and helping us grow this community is not lost upon us. Listen, they're still figuring out how to hit the go live button. You guys have figured out how to get those comments after these videos, and it's tremendous. We're breaking the algorithms. We're getting loud. We're getting more views than most of them out there. And that says something because it's just a year ago that we got rolling after blatant disrespect, had to roll onto our own and make some things happen. And like I said, they mad. Hashtag we coming. Hashtag don't care. Hashtag FAFO. I did make it clear. I'm not trying to grow content by recycling the same old bullshit. Because then, unfortunately, you get some guys out there that are slow, right? They're a little slower than everybody else, and then they get confused. And maybe they're new to social media. Maybe they just don't get some of the playful riff, but then they feel like they got to pick a side. And I feel bad for our guy, Birdie. It was embarrassing. He's not like that. Or at least I didn't think he was like that. Although it's hard for me to listen to him from time to time. But nonetheless, hopefully he's here today. Hopefully he's here. I told him, come on and check us out. We'll show you what we do. And again, that threat. Just because you can make a hamburger doesn't mean McDonald's is going out of business. You know what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm putting down. They mad. They want your money. Believe you me. They put it out there in writing. They want it. They don't want you to get better. They don't. They want you to need them to pay them to do what you can do on your own if you had the right tools and access to information. Not here. We don't need your money. I mean, we like your money. We appreciate you taking the time to offer contributions when we go out there and do something big. No, everybody was taking last week off in the NHL. Not us. We're digging in. We found 11 player props. Some of them were cashing at plus 350, plus 400s. They want you to need. They want you to lose. So when they say it's us against the books, it's really not. It's us in the books against you. Because then we can make more money from you as you pay the bookies for those bad losing picks that we got. See, we went 4-1 in our last 5. What you don't realize is we're 50% bettors. And so we're going to go 1-4, which means the books are going to make your money, but I want you to pay me that money. I'm not going to tell you how to get better because you're going to need me. And that's not what we're here. It's not what we're here for. We're not here for that at Sports Money. We're not here for that at Pregame. And that's the last I'm going to talk about that here tonight. But I am ready to talk about this card. So again, shout out to everybody that supports our commenters or our channel, our contributions, everything we're doing out there. Hey, the membership gifting, we love it. We want to see you guys. The whole premium process started from you guys asking us for more plays when we're not on the air. Take some time, scrub the card. What are you playing? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? We answer all you guys in DMs. This was an opportunity to give more access to more winning plays. And here's where the threat. Here's where the challenge comes into play. It's only an extra $5. Not a day, a month. We're not charging a $39.95 to get one best bet today. You get access to all the plays that we're making out there. How about MMA Jeff this past weekend? MMA Jeff comes in golfing. Now, I've been capping with MMA Jeff for a long time. Nobody's got more experience than the two of us when it comes down to it. Fact. He goes out there, he gives you 3 free golf bangers. Not minus 110s, not matchups at minus 120s. A plus 400, a plus 450, and a plus 900 for Daniel Berger to finish in the top 5. Cash, cash, cash. Jeff didn't ask you for your money. Jeff didn't say, give me $19.95 and I'll give you a play today. They mad. You guys are doing a great job. We're winning. They don't want to see that. That represents a threat when you start winning. And we're going to win tonight. We're going to talk about Major League Baseball. We got 1, 2, 3 games in Major League Baseball. We'll go San Diego and the Tigers. We'll go Cincinnati and the Marlins. We'll wrap her up with Toronto and Houston. Got an NHL parlay. I added a play. I added a play in the NHL. Not here on screen. But I do have an NHL parlay that's around plus 130. They say you shouldn't do parlays. They don't want you to win. Then we're going to go to Colorado and Dallas. And we're going to wrap her up with the Clippers and Denver. 1 NBA game, 1 shot, 1 kill. It's been a great weekend. Just want to keep it going. Just want to harness this excitement. And it's the hate that makes us great. So let's go, you guys. Shout out to everybody that's out there. Here's where you can do your part. We need your help. We need you to smash that thumbs up button. All those contributions are great. Growing this thing via memberships is fantastic. We want to continue to get loud, continue to disrupt this industry in a professional manner. But the thumbs up button, most important thing you can do in show. Take some time, smack it now. We'll get back to work and we'll fire off these games for us. See, here at Sports Money, all we care about is you winning. Your money goes in your pocket. Now, someone say, well, what about this enhanced package thing? Well, listen, we believe in what we're doing. We're taking extra time out of the hours and hours and hours on air every week to give you guys best bets. You tip the waitress for a cup of coffee. That's all we're asking for here. Show a little love. Show some support. But we want you guys to win. Make no mistake about it. It is that time. Again, we had a 6-1 weekend for our enhanced members out there. We had a terrific Friday. We had a winning week last week again, and we're going to roll it back up and pack it while we smoke it. Sometimes you can do things on screen. It doesn't mean you do them. Not a bunch of children. So let's get to work. Let's check out the best goddamn chat in the business. Smacking the like, leaving their comments, doing everything they can to help this community continue to, be professional disruptors. So you can't be the tip of the spear if you're the bottom of the arrow. Doesn't work like that. We need everybody to work together. Shout out to my man Gordon counting us off here. He's got Jay's money line. He's got Oilers money line. And he's got an alternate spread on the Nuggets. My God. Gordon coming in here, beating out Jover. Beats out Jover. Jover's assault on the unders continues. He is rolling Reds and Marlins over 8. I'll just leave that there while I gulp my water. They want your money, Redbeard. They need your money. David Wallace, Joe Dub says, thanks for winning weekend. Keep up the great cap. And thank you, my friend. Respect. I appreciate that, man. That's, like I said, I know you guys are taking the time out after the show to make a comment, celebrate a win, share bet slips, all those other things that you guys are doing out there. Makes it real, man. Makes it real. Makes it worth coming back and doing this stuff again. Gerald Jones, this is best bet. He's on the Clippers, Denver, under 218. Look at this guy's record, 37-23. Remember, it was March 1st. This guy came in and started storming the gates. Shout out to Ken Wood, Trisha M, looking for positive cash flow. Nicholas Handy's here. Oldie. Let's go, you guys. Gerald Jones says, cashed my Red Sox run line and under this morning. Yeah, I was all fucked up this weekend. And I did get some time for the under on that Boston game. I just didn't have enough time to get it to you guys. So I apologize for that. But didn't look good either. Remember, majority of the runs come in the first inning. They don't want you knowing that. They scared. They mad. They scared. Gerald Jones says, cashed my Red Sox run line in the under this morning. Robert McCormick's here. Gerald Jones in the house. Nasty Nate says, Red Sox smashed. Hey, they got their first Patriots Day win in like 10 years, it feels like. Man, I can still remember. Was it Eovaldi? It was like 4 years ago. Dude got torched like 18-2. I remember that because I was on an under in the Red Sox. I double dipped that one while I was sitting at work going, man. She says the Red Sox didn't cover the -2.5 though. Hey, yo, D's in the house. Shouting out Nasty Nate says, AKA the mechanic, AKA the wrench. The Futon Bets is here. Fernando Tatis Jr. Home run. Sup, buddy? Let's get this cash. Stop. David Wallace says, Yankees, it is then. Just placed it. Jermaine, let's go, you guys. Good stuff, good stuff. Damn, Miami, not even money anymore. Bo Jackson. Salute from Vegas, he says. Shout out to you, Bo Jackson, my man. Thanks for checking in, brother. Regular contributor here. His Maple Leafs smashed. And I don't know if they're his Maple Leafs, though. I know the Blue Jays are out there trying to smash tonight. Gerald Jones had a great Sunday. Oldie, indeed. Jover joining the money train, says Trisha M. Damon Waring says, good evening, Capper. Sports money is money. Let's go. Says my camera looks different, huh? Maybe it's because my light's not on. Shout out to Ron Young. AOD thinks the Pistons will smash. Gerald Jones says have Winnipeg at 48-1 to win the cup. With Florida to win the chip. Okay. I told our boy he needs some new material. See, they won't let him come on Saturdays. So he can't come on Saturdays. And I said we could make some new material on Saturdays if that's what you want to do, but they won't let him. AOD says delusional. Yes, I don't give a fuck what the spread is. Peter Gracia says, hey, Mikey, happy at Patriots Day from Boston. Cheers, my friend. Cheers. Let's go. Chris Comentini's here. Marcus McCarthy's in the house. What up, Marcus McCarthy? Damon Waring likes Judge Tatis home runs tonight. Let's go. Chris, you know, man. Ignatius Pennyfeather the Seventh says, preach, Mike. Sports Money's where it's at. Let's go. Redbeard, is HR shut down for you? Is home run shut down for you? I think is what he means. Says, yeah. Hard Rock. I got you. Trisha M says, MMA Jeff is now PGA Jeff. Sancho's in the house. Shout out to Trisha M. She gifted the community a Sports Money membership here. Trisha M. Shout out to you, Trisha M. Respect, always representing, always supporting what we're doing here. Bringing in positive vibes. Love you, Trisha M. Let's go. She said, nothing gets the gears going better. 9 Legacy says, I love parlay. We got that three-legger. You're not supposed to parlay, they say. Peter Gracia says, one shot, one kill. LOL. What's up, Mel? Mel, I did get involved with your best bet. I appreciate you sharing. And here you go. Shout out to TV Moss. And shout out to Old E, gifted a Sports Money membership in here. Let's go. Shout out to you, my friend, Old E. Gifted, growing, supporting Sports Money Nation. Old E, appreciate you, my brother. Cheers. F. Donahue's a new member in the house. 9 Legacy says, what do you think about this paid in full parlay? Brewers, Padres, Braves, Edmonton Oilers, Moneyline. I don't like the Padres. We'll talk about it. Up to Joe Dub with the $9.99 super sticker up in here. Oh, man, you guys are going to make me tip the top of the bottle after a long cocktailing weekend. All right, why don't we do that? Let's pop this top. Get me all fired up today. Get me all jacked up. So we might as well grab Uncle Jackie. Good old number 7. We're pursuing. Well, we're not pursuing, but we would accept a sponsorship from good old Jack Daniels. The air breather. There's a name I haven't seen up in here yet. Danny Beats. All right, I want to get to work, you guys. Let's go. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you guys for the contributions. Thank you for hearing me rant. We are a threat to this business. And it's always the innovators. It's always the ones that do it differently that threaten the laziness. And it's okay. It's not my first time. Not my first time disrupting in a positive and successful manner. Sometimes you just got to do it better. And nobody does it better than the Padres right now. 16-6 to pop this season off. Man, Bogarts gets it done yesterday. And I was like, man, he was right on the fringe for me of a nice big score, but I didn't get there. Playing the Tigers. Rolling on up on this one here. It's going to start at 6:40 p.m. This Tigers line moved from -120 to -135. $1.35. I'm coming out of the booth. You guys know what that is. Let's go. We're going to talk about this game here. One of the best spots on the card, I do believe, in this benefit tonight. We're looking at this game, looking at these two spots here, and this line opened up at -120. It's got reverse line movement. 59% of the bets and 55% of the cash are on the fathers here, the Padres. And the line has moved significantly. 23 cents one. There you go, Nasty Nate. -120 to -135 on the Detroit Tiger side of things. The total's got 82% of the bets and 80% of the cash on the over. It has not moved. Now, what's interesting is at first glance, Montero looks like a dirtbag with a 9.0 ERA for the Tigers. He's going against Vasquez on the San Diego side with a 1.74 ERA. Thing is, and this is also, I think, a really great play, is looking at this under. The Padres and Vasquez starts are 0-4 to the under. Perfect 4-0 because the dude's a sniper. He's one shot, one kill out there. 0 home runs allowed. None. Nada. Zippo. Zilch. And because they're in a pitcher's ballpark in Comerica, This is a tremendous spot for runs. Or I'm sorry, for pitchers. Tigers are allowing just 2.4 runs per game on their home turf and a 1.64 ERA. But the thing about this game here, and I'm going to attack this full game, not the first 5, it's ultimately because of the bullpen. And that's where I do believe, look, San Diego at home is a tremendous offense. They average 4.67 runs. They go on the road, it drops down to 3.3. So there's a 1.3 run dip, obviously showing vulnerability. They're playing at a pitcher's ballpark, and I do believe that will help Montegro get it back. Furthermore, you look back at these two teams and kind of what's been shaken, what's the haps on the craps with these two guys here, and the Tigers are on their second straight series at home. They effectively shut down this Kansas City's team. By the way, with all those bats, I know Bobby Witt's a fucking freak of nature. But they went 3-1 against that Kansas City team. They held him to 1-3-1-3. 8 runs over 4 games is 2 a pop. That should be enough to neutralize a traveling team that just left Houston, struggled at Houston. In fact, if it wasn't for Framber Valdez, they were getting swept. They played the Cubs before that as well, so they go from a Cubs series to playing Houston and struggling. Houston hasn't shown best form. And then we'll just add the little cherry on top. Here's the little difference maker out there. Fading road teams after Sunday Night Baseball, you're 79-30. It's one of them spots. It's one of them spots that we know about. Look, if you're traveling, it's a difficult situation in these difficult times. There's another little drop. And I'm on them. I'm going to take the Tigers here. I got them at -1. Where did I get the Tigers at? Bet stamp, where did you go? Where did you go? Where'd you go? Are they hiding me? Are they hiding bet stamps? They don't want us to win. -135 for the Tigers. Slight juice, but I think this is a great opportunity for us to capitalize out there. We'll roll on to game number 2. We're going to get involved in Cincinnati and Miami. And I'll just pop it right off and say Jover and I are aligned. This is a 20-0 position. 20-0. Now, the challenge is you want to get involved with the Reds, who just put up 100 runs yesterday. 80% of the bets and 90% of the cash do want to be involved in the Reds game tonight. However, the line's gone from -124 to -118. Correlated dip on the money line side of things. So this is where we go back to who's opening up these books first. See, when you're one of the first guys to get involved in this technology component, you can start to recognize some of the fallacy or deficiencies that others leverage when they utilize these tools. It's the first number that hits the beat that we want to cap off of, because the rest of the books are just marginalizing it. So ultimately, there hasn't been a ton of movement. This line went from 8. There are some 7.5s. You have 97% of the bets and 95% of the cash on the over. Mayer going to start for the Miami Marlins with a 2.63. I'm sorry I didn't get the pitchers in here on the sheet today. Guys, ran out of time. But Lodolo will go with a 2.31 ERA. On the surface, when do you want to fade a team? Is probably after they go out there and throw up 20 runs. 24-2 is the game that they had against Baltimore yesterday. Nobody's talking about the Baltimore run line trends this year. 4 straight overs for the Cincinnati Reds team. 4 straight overs for this Miami Marlins team. The Marlins are on the second series of conference play, divisional play out there, the NL East. They just played the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, side note, I kind of like that Phillies game tonight. Phillies are one of the best to beat streak teams on a streak, especially when you underestimate them as a dog. So if you're just taking the other side because, well, I shouldn't say you're just taking the other side, but if your theory is Miami's hot and they're the favorite for a reason, it's a bad spot to look for this game. That's a different story. This is the second series in a row. The Marlins are returning home from Philadelphia, and this is where the opportunity presents itself. It won't present itself next week. This is the last opportunity this year for this 20-0 trend here, and it's really straightforward. Miami off a road game, coming back home before April 28th. 20-0. Now, some would say, why April 28th? I haven't the faintest clue. Nor do I care. Because at 20-0, looking at these two teams in their history and their series, going over the numbers here, yeah, both bats are firing right now. They both come to life. I would suspect that the early in the season factor has to do more with the struggles that the pitchers have had for Miami over history here, and that they are kind of a batting organization. So, they do develop great batters, not great pitchers. Tampa's the pitching spot down in down in Florida, and Miami does seem to be the hitting spot down in Florida. But there is a 7.5 hanging out there. And look, the reality is it doesn't matter if you get a 7.5 or an 8. I got a 7.5 at -118. The margin of victory is over 3 runs in these spots. A 20-0 with a margin of 3.5 runs is almost unheard of across this sport. And yet it's good enough. I'll take it. I don't need to think about it twice. Give it to me. Smack it with me. And let's see if we can't cash. Jover and I collabing tonight. Chris Camatini says Padres off the Sunday Night Baseball. That was the fate trend. J-Man likes the Phillies tonight. See, I do too, man. See, the thing about me with baseball, believe it or not, it happens to be my best sport. And it's probably because I care about it the least. Never watched. Well, I sort of watched it growing up as a kid. I had a cousin that was collegiate and minor league ball player. So we did quite a bit growing up. But it was always hockey. And we played hockey 11 months of the year. So I feel like I can dial into baseball because I just can't stand it. And although in the summertime it's nice because you kind of have it on in the background, you're entertaining outside, you got the TV on the deck, you're pouring cocktails and enjoying a summer night. But I could follow a 20-0 trend. I don't need to think twice about it. I'll take a shot with it. And then when I talk about that with this Phillies, I don't think it's my loyalties or allegiances to Philadelphia that makes me. It's not like the Eagles. It's not like the Eagles. But they're just too damn good as well. So let's go to this other game here because it does involve my other team, and this is my AL East team here. The Toronto and Astros will pop off here. They will play down in Houston, and they will say that the line has dropped against this Houston team. It is correlated. Correlated meaning it dropped 10 cents on the Astros side. It dropped 4 cents on the Blue Jay side. Not oscillating, correlated. 66% of the bets and 53% of the cash are on the Astros. And Bo Jackson says, let's go Blue Jays. Let's go Blue Jays, says Bo Jackson. I think it is a good Blue Jay spot tonight. It's Hunter Brown, but it's Gausman. 1.5 ERA for Hunter Brown. Gausman on the other side of things here, rolling in with a 2.49. Both pitchers are 2-1, so they're going in with plenty of starts in this series here. And I think that gives us this opportunity to take a peek at. Batting-wise, across the board, yeah, you got to be a little bit worried. Both teams are capable of exploding at any given time, but when the Blue Jays win, it's defensive-oriented and pitchers going out there shoving. When the Astros win, it's either trash cans or random anomaly that pops out of nowhere and you don't understand it. Look at the series, 2-1. Man, Louis Arise, that sucks that they cracked Louis Arise like that. Had to stretcher him out of there yesterday. On a side note, I was looking at the score and I'm like, why is this game not fucking going? What's going on? Why is this game taking so long? For an under? I was like, are they just keep loading up the bases? No, I didn't realize that they melted Louis Arise on first base and had to stretcher him out of there. 6-4, 3-2. 3-2 loss, though, that last game out there for the Astros. On the other side of things, with the Blue Jays, back-to-back losses against Seattle at home. They had back-to-back home series. Atlanta, they nuked them. Seattle, they got nuked. 1-2. And now they're traveling. And that's where I do have a little concern for the Blue Jays. If you're going against a Hunter Brown, your runs are starting to table off. What's going on here? What's the situation? And look, what's going on here is those unders continue to trend, and it's MLB home favorites. When it's between a 7 and an 8, remember this one. This is what they don't want you to know that. Maybe I shouldn't tell you. Maybe I shouldn't tell you what this trend is because they don't want you to figure this out on your own. Just because you know how to make the hamburger might shut down McDonald's. What an embarrassment. That's why I said I told our boy I don't want to grow content like that because I get it excited. It's like, I finally got you with over 1,700 tweets on a tweet. I get it, dude. But, then you got guys like embarrassing themselves and they don't know. They don't know you're just fucking around. And Anyhow, I digress. I like the under in this game here. This is the deal. Home favorites when it's between the 7 and 8. Home favorites, unders between 7 and 8 are 46 and 30. 46 and 30 right now. Home favorites in the Major League Baseball. When it's between a 7 and an 8, it's going to be a low number for a reason. Remember, 7s, 9s, and 11s are the key numbers in baseball. 11s, traditionally, we only see them at Coors and Cubs. We saw one the other day. 2-1 through the first 5 innings. 100-50 the last, this wasn't that big, but it was over. It was like 22 runs. So point is, when they expect a lower scoring game, specifically in this situation, it goes under, it stays under. And you don't need to pay me $39.95 for that play. I give that one to you guys. You just keep that in mind. MLB home favorites. Now, they're not 100% clearly, right? But all we're trying to do is leverage these trends and these angles to give us the headwinds. What are they saying? Well, they're showing there's a propensity for lower scoring games in baseball when there's a home favorite and a price tag between 7 and 8. Does that mean that the pitchers are going to shove? Probably. And that's what I think happens here. Now, I can get behind a first 5 with the Jays. I saw somebody asking about that. I just like this under. I like the first 5 under if you can catch a 4. We've just seen the biggest thing for me is the inconsistency on both sides with these bats. They both can go under this number pretty easily. And when they get cold, they are ice cold. Lend me some sugar. I am your neighbor. Wait, I'll give you guys 3 drops today? 3 drops today? Oh, tell me where else you're going to have this much fucking fun. Let's go with this. Let's start the NHL off here. We'll go Capitals and Jets for a parlay. I'm just going to fire this parlay off to you guys here. We'll keep things rolling. Keep this thing moving at a brisk pace as we like to do to keep this thing in check here. I was going to do a player prop parlay. I'm not going to. I'll just tell you who I like in this one is, well, I might still do it, but I'm not going to make anything official. Demidov. Why not like Demidov in this spot here? This young kid's come over. Number 1, what is he? Number 1 and number 5 overall draft pick. Comes out of the KHL. I still can't believe they allow hockey teams to bring these dudes in this situation. I mean, to me, it's like, what were we waiting for? Literally the last game of the season is what we were waiting for. And it astonishes me that it's legal, but it is. And for what it's worth, look, I think that kid's going to go out there for a point to get plus 125 in the playoffs. 1 point, 125 in the playoffs. Yeah. This will be the first game of the series between these two teams. Of course, the Capitals and Ovechkin having that season. He's not leaving. He's coming back out there. Capitals had the luxury of cruise control to finish the season, and they took all advantage of it. They finished 1-3 in their last 4. They got shut out 7-0. Then they followed it back up, back-to-back spots with no rest against Columbus. They lose again 4-1. They play at Pittsburgh to close the season off. They lose 5-2. Now, we smashed Pittsburgh. That was like the easiest get in there, smack them in the bottom play of the day. On the flip side of things, the Canadians had a little struggle to close out the season. Remember, they were hanging on for 4 straight games. They needed 1 point to make the playoffs. They finally got it the last game of the season against Carolina. Remember, they were at Ottawa. They lost 5-2. They got shut out at Toronto 1-0. They played the Blackhawks at home, and they melted. They went up early, and they crumbled. And then they finished off the season 4-2 against Carolina. We were on Montreal in that spot out there. Maybe that should have been a $39.95 play of the day. And it should have probably been 4%. Maybe 5%. I don't know. Not sure. We're not playing fucking arcade games here, rolling the ball down the track. But we're trying to get this money. And where we're going to get this money here, I believe, is with this Jets and Capital spot in a parlay. And it's a nice little price tag here. I don't want to mess, look, overtimes and all this other shit. Montreal fell into the playoffs. You got to expect they want to start hard, but they've been grinding. And what do we see from grinding teams like the other day with St. Louis Blues, who were in a similar situation and needed points till the very end? This wore down and got tired. And so you got this team in Washington that's coming into this thing with the benefit of rest, and they're going with their ace in the hole. That's Logan Thompson, 31-6-6 on the season, 2.54 goals against. Hasn't played since April 2nd. So this dude's got 19 days off. He is coming back from an upper body injury. He's practiced for almost a full week. He's had a phenomenal year with Washington. He seems to be the answer. And we're not surprised in the Montembeault spot with Montreal. For the Jets side of things, Connor Hellebuck and Jordan Binnington. This is the other side that we talk about for this equation. Big spot, big opportunity. Look, St. Louis Blues might have found their match. I liked St. Louis the other day. I did. And they started off early, and I was all but cashing my winnings. I should have cashed. That's what I should have done. And then on the other side of things, what happens? Well, they melted towards the end, just like we suspected with a team that's coming into the postseason after pushing all season long, not having the benefit of the break. They finally ran out of gas. And Winnipeg Jets at home with Connor Hellebuck. The process last game was Connor Hellebuck kind of stunk, and they still were able to find a win. And St. Louis happens to be an under team anyway, so if this goalie can come out there and figure it out, they're going to be in trouble on the St. Louis Blues side of the house. Pricey, though, again, minus 190s, minus 200s, just a Cliff Notes version here. Plus 132 was the price tag that we got by parlaying those two together. I added the under 6.5 for the Capitals game. Added 6.5, widely available at DraftKings. You can find sixes out there, too. It's all good. Little, minus 130s. It's a little pricey. I don't know. Capitals finished with the best record in the East, and they're going back to their best goaltender. Montreal, I expected, as Sub says in our UFC content, expected a death gas. Capitals can certainly score. The Canadians can struggle. And the biggest thing for the Canadians, they're just not getting shots. Their last 5 games particularly, just ugly. Not shooting, not trying, just I mean, I'm sure they were trying, but I'll go with the under 6.5 between the spots here. I just think that in this playoff mode, in this playoff format, you're playing one of the best. Can Capitals go off there and fire off an 8-3? I don't think so. This game started at 5.5 for a reason. It's got all kinds of juice coming in on the over, and it hasn't moved. And to see DraftKings pop a 6.5 out there. Remember, the ones that we're looking for, maybe they don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know this because if you know this, then they have to go back and roll up their sleeves and do research. But if you know that when FanDuel's got the best number, you stay away, then, who are you going to pay $39.95 to for 4% play? 6.5. There's, again, sixes are widely available. Take it. Feel good about it. And let's move on. All these screens open. I almost gave a click to the wrong one. Would have shut us right down. Colorado Avalanche and Dallas Stars will be the last game here for me in the NHL tonight. And go right back to Colorado. I crushed Colorado the other day. I literally took the fucking club out and smacked that baby seal. And I'm going to go right back to it again tonight because I don't think Dallas has got the matchup for these guys. I don't like the way Dallas plays hockey, period. Now, we did know that Mikko Heiskanen and injuries galore with these guys, but it's an under team, and you're just fucked, F-U-C-T, against this Colorado Avalanche program that's coming in here firing. And look, can you play the Rantanen revenge angle? I don't know. I mean, you just got melted 5-1 2 nights ago. 5-1, you got cooked. They were winning so much, and as much money as I had in it, I got disinterested in watching it. I flipped over to some UFL. And look at the Stars team. You talk about you don't want to fall into the playoffs. That's where Dallas finds themselves. They got shut out 4-0 to Winnipeg. All at home, by the way. 4-0 at home to Winnipeg, 5-3 to Utah. They go on the road. They play a shit Detroit team. They lose 6-4. They lose 5-1 to Nashville. You lost to Nashville. 5-1, the last game of the season. They come back. And I mean, come on. If this team has any shot, they're going to have to figure it out today, and I don't think they will. Look, they got Mackenzie Blackwood. That was the piece that was brought in. And you want to talk about a goalie that's got a new lease on life. That was this kid getting out of San Jose. Remember, Gorgiev was so bad, he went to San Jose, and now San Jose just got rid of him. Outright released. He comes out there, 23 of 24 saves against this Dallas Stars team. They had no answer for him. Big saves at big moments early. And then, like I said, he was checked out of the game. It was just disappointing. On the other side of things, you got, Jake Ottinger going to start out there. These boys are going to try to figure it out. They're going to obviously need to go out there and make something happen, but I just don't find it in the cards tonight. I just think this is a bad matchup. I thought a little bit about the bad matchup for the Los Angeles Kings and the Edmonton Oilers, and I thought that wasn't one of the highest matchups from an Oilers perspective, but kind of having some second thoughts a little bit. I guess time will tell what happens in this game here. I do have a strong lean to the under in that game at 5.5 here, but look, all signs point to playoff teams favored on the road with less of a win percentage than the other are favored for a reason. And let's not discount the first half of the season. This Colorado team was really struggling to figure out how to wire its head and its ass to the same page. So we're going to go Colorado Avalanche to close out the NHL card. I'll tell you, there's a couple other guys I like, a couple other players I like on this thing here. I'll flip them off to you guys real quick here. Why not? Let me pull up my spreadsheet. Let me pull up my notes. Give you guys all this stuff. You're not going to need me. It's tough. It's tough to apparently be renegade. Anyhow, one of the players that I really like in this spot here tonight, I mentioned the Dadonov situation or Demidov situation. I was going to parlay these two together. Look for Nathan MacKinnon's over in shots on goal. Nathan MacKinnon last game was the horse that pulled the wagon. 1 goal, 2 assists, and 6 shots on goal. 6. And he still passed it twice to get 2 assists. I mean, he passed it a hell of a lot more times. This is because that first line for Colorado and the first line for Dallas is a deficiency on the Dallas Stars side of things. They're still bumped up. They're still banged up. They're still struggling to figure it out. Gabriel Langskog, I don't mind him either. But keep in mind, this dude hasn't played in a minute. So if he comes back, that's going to be a huge bump for these guys. But yeah, I like it. I like Davidov to get a point. Let me see what this looks like. Let me chart this on paper. Let me get this on paper. Montreal. Excited for the playoffs tonight. Gonna have a nice little night. Couple of drinks. Couple of bets. Let's see. Here's Demidov to get 1+ point, plus 125 on DraftKings. Shots on goal. Nathan MacKinnon. 4+ is minus 140. There's a little plus 285 price tag for everybody in the house right now. Let's take advantage of that as well. Let's get in on that right there. Plus 285 parlay. I said, Redbeard, it's tough when you lose. They'll hate you. Some prick talked about how we melted down in March. I haven't seen him say shit about how we brought it all back and we're the high water mark for the show in April. You know, they love to see you lose. That's why it's not us against the bookies. It's not. And if they have that in their profile, unfollow them. They're not telling the truth. They're liars. Let's go on into the NBA. Man, I'll tell you this. First half unders smashed and cashed. Those were some of them auto bets almost all goddamn weekend long. And I'll tell you this. Overs are, you'll probably see some slackers push some overs out there today because it's just kind of automatic now, right? If they went under, you play the overs. 41 and 25 for game 2 overs if game 1s went under. Clippers, Memphis, Golden State, Minnesota, Milwaukee, Orlando, all are applied to the overs. So I saved you $39.95. saved you $40. All those are overs. You'll probably see some people play those that way. But that's okay. Look, we got to force them to work a little bit harder on a regular. And we'll keep doing that to push to get everybody better around us here. You know what? We'll raise the flock around us by forcing them to roll their sleeves up. Let's go to the NBA. Let's talk about the single spot that I have tonight for you guys in the NBA. And I don't know any other way. I like the Knicks, by the way. I don't care if the line's moved against them. But I'm looking at this Clippers and Nuggets spot here. And this line has moved from +2 to -1. Even 1.5s. Which triggers a big function for us tonight. This total's come down. 93% of the bets, 91% of the cash are on the over. It's come down a run, it's come down a point. That'd be a tough run. 219.5 to 218.5. 1 point it's come down, reverse line movement. You look at this Clipper side of things here. What's the trigger? The trigger is that a team that stunk, I shouldn't say stunk. I'll tell you this. If you blew it on the road and you're still on the road after game 1 of the playoffs, you blow it again. That's it. How do you define it? You tell me how you define it. You blew it means you were leading by more than 10 points. You lost on the road and you're still on the road and it's game 2 of the playoffs. There is no bounce back spot in those teams. Well, I shouldn't say none. Shouldn't be so definitive. It's 2-1 against them. 55-27 to fade teams like the Clippers. You know, it's funny. I was telling you guys I was at that little outdoor get-together soiree on Saturday. And my one boy comes in and he's, oh, the Clippers. I was like, I don't think so, dude. Nuggets are coming back. And they were down. Just kept live betting them. Plus 250, plus 300, plus 350s. They come back and win the game in overtime. It was a thing of beauty. But here's the problem with this. Not just the trend. So we'll put the trend over there on the side. Okay, we got it. Put that over there. It's not very often, by the way, that a team's favored in game 2 after being the road dog in game 1. So that's an anomaly. But at this point here, this does come down to altitude. This does come down to the depth. And I think this is where the Clippers are going to find themselves exposed. Kawhi Leonard, they're nursing this guy like a little baby on the baba. And he's played 40 minutes in his last 3 games. And we remember, old man time, undefeated. He averaged 31.9 minutes this season. They kept him in check. The last 3 games, they took the governor off this guy, and he's been ripping it up and down the court. That's going to be a problem. I think conditioning, he looked gassed. Absolutely shut down that second half of that game the other night against Denver. And they're still there. They're still at altitude. It hasn't gotten any easier for this dude. I think this is where the depth comes into play. The Nuggets, they've got a bench they can throw into there. And they're going to need it. 4 players had over 45 minutes. 8 players were on the court. Oh, man, it was they wanted game 1. They showed it in their personnel. That's what I was telling my boy. I was like, dude, did you see the way that they were disrespecting these guys? They were throwing no look behind the back passes. I saw the first one right off the gate, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go in there and drop a hammer on Denver. And literally, my boy's like, why? And I was like, they're disrespecting them. They're doing no looks behind the back, dude. And they kept doing it. They did like 3 out of 4 plays in a row. And I was like, yeah, Clippers are melting. And they did. Now, Michael Porter, the only starter who did not play 45 or more minutes. And he's a rebounding machine. So you got to look at this dude's rebounding props out there. You know, they don't want you to know that. They want you to pay him $40 for that. But look, 4%, 5%, 3%, 2%. There's no games here. We do everything for a unit. You don't have to guess. Nobody's won more than us. That's a fact. This is a 1-unit play. Everything's graded as a 1-unit play. Whether you want to play it for 10 units, 12 units, you want to try to play catch up because you're down 3 games in a row, so this becomes your 5%. You go right the heck ahead. Shouldn't be down if you're playing the plays I have tonight. They're all 1 unit. And that's why I'm confident in saying nobody has won more than us over the last 20 days here in April. That's the way we're going to do it, Denver. Defense, game 1. Offense, game 2. We talked about those overs. We talked about all of that non-stuff. Vila Coot says, when's the next live stream, Mikey? Should be Thursday. Should be Thursday. Just want to say thank you, guys. Thank you all for hearing my thoughts, not just on the games, but on the industry in general. Listen, transparency, accountability, and bringing dubs to the table. That's what we do on a regular basis. If they did it better than us, they'd be doing it. They're not. They're waiting for us to show them how to do it. And we'll continue to do that with you guys. If you support us, we'll support you. Get out here when the show is over. Smack that thumbs up button if you haven't done so, and leave a comment for us. That drives, and believe you me, I got messages saying, how the hell are you getting these comments? All I said, please, just help us. Let's build this thing. Let's continue to get this voice on the uptick. Appreciate everybody coming in here, playing the game with us tonight. Good luck with your bets. Good luck with that cash. Get that money. Have a great Monday, and we'll be back here on Tuesday. Big show on Tuesday. We got our guy, Ramon Scott's been running so hot. Man, he had a firing weekend. Man, I don't want to discount this whole thing. Jeff crushed it in the golf. Look, 2-0 again in rugby, 6-0 in the last 6 plays out there. Ramon Scott had a monster weekend as well as the sports money premium plays out there. Good luck to everybody. Thanks for stopping in, and leave a comment after the show. Have a great night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.